Let's step in the game. Here to bring the heat. Texans 22. We on the beat. Leo and BT. Hosting this show. Talking X's and O's. We letting y'all know. Texans 22. Breaking it down. Podcast got the city vibing to the sound. Special guest dropping out, it's so true. Houston Texans fam, this one's for you. Texans 22, breaking it down. Podcast got the city vibing to the sound. Special guest dropping out, it's so true. Houston Texans fam, this one's for you.
What's up, everybody, man? Today we got a very special Super Bowl edition episode of Texans 22, man, with our good friends Texans on 3, man. First of all, bro, how have y'all been this year, man? It's been a while since we all talked, man. How's everything been going for y'all, bro?
Wonderful. It's been a rough season.
Yeah, a good season, rough season. I enjoyed the season though, but I just wish that it had turned out different. But man, we was tuning in to everything that you guys been doing. Shout out to all the Texans content creators out there. Made it actually a better season, just with all the content that we had out there, man. So if I don't know if my hand claps will come through on y'all end, but I do want to give everybody a hand for just doing this what we do, the Texan content creating and just doing what we did for the fans and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we made it a great season for everybody.
Yeah, man, I still got playoff hangover, man. I really wanted to be playing this Sunday realistically. I thought we had a chance with the defense that we had. Yeah. Offense let us down tremendously. When I say offense, we know who we talking about. It was Slowick. We'll jump into all of that later, but I got a playoff hangover, man. We got the exact same record of last year, and you're trying to talk yourself into feeling better about it, but when you look at it, it's like, hey, man, I've been going to the gym for a whole year, and I have not lost a pound. That's what it looked like to me.
Hey,
no result.
That's a good way of putting it, bro.
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah. What about you, Patton, bro? How you feeling about the year, man? How you been doing since we all talked last, man?
Brother, since the last time we talked, life has took highs and lows, and goddamn, I'm still here. I'm still 10 toes down. You understand? But going into the season, man, I had Super Bowl aspirations, right? Looking at the team, like we can do this, and this is a long season. Things tend to happen. Injuries happen. We were blessed and lucky not to get the injury bug early on in training camp like we normally do. But injury bug came as the season was going on. So, for us to, in my personal opinion, man, I feel like this team learned that what we can do and what we can't do if certain people are hurt. So going forward, I really feel like, hey, everybody got to stay healthy. Easier said than done. But in the event, it has to be the next man up. You got to feel like you are him, no matter if you Davis Mills, Damian Pierce, Scott Quisenberry, who didn't play at all this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to feel like you him if the guy in front of you goes down. And if everybody adopts that mindset, dude, we playing today. And we winning today. Easily.
Sure. Hell yeah. Nah, man, that's what separates like good and great teams, man. Teams that, make the wild card, winning the wild card, and then, bro, what I'm saying, winning in the championship weekend and making the Super Bowl, bro. You can't really make excuses because everybody's dealing with injuries, everybody's dealing with like all that stuff, and guys have to step in and at least play, to an okay level. I mean, look at KC, man. I mean, they was playing Joe Tooney at left tackle for how many weeks against us, and they won playoff games with this. Bro, so 100%, bro.
He's played everywhere. And he's the best offensive lineman in the league.
Crazy.
Hands down.
Man, isn't it crazy? Speaking about that, bro, he was like, to see a couple offensive linemen get you know what I'm saying, offensive player of the year award votes is insane. You know, I think Tooney got a couple, and I think Mailata got one or two. But yeah, man, that's wild, man.
He
But
deserves some type of award. Period.
oh, of course, man. What about you, V? I know everybody's seen you last week, bro. You've been doing good. You've had a good week, man. How you coping, bro? Without being here.
Listen, I'm coping. Everyone knows what I said about the Super Bowl after the Texans lost to the Chiefs, but I've recovered. I think so, and I'm ready to talk about this game, man. I mean, I do think it's going to be a good matchup overall. Do I think that Roger Goodell and the officiating crew and has to get something done? Yeah, but they're talking about changing a couple things. I know we're not going to be talking about that today, but they are talking about changing a couple rules on how QBs can slide and so forth. And I think that can actually improve what goes on in 2025. So hopefully things get better. But overall, I'm looking forward to a good game tonight, guys.
Hell yeah, man. All right, so let's get right into it, bro. Chiefs versus the Eagles, bro. This is, a rematch of, a Super Bowl a couple years ago. Hurts versus Mahomes, Spags versus, the Eagles offense, just great coaching all around, great rosters, man. Let's kick it off with Patton, bro, man. What do you think about this game? What are some key matchups, and let's just start right there, bro.
It's very simple. Philadelphia is a mirror of what the Texans need to be, could be. The only difference is the quarterback. I feel like Stroud is better than Hurts, and their running game is better than our running game. However, the defense for the Eagles, and I got the Eagles today. Hey, the balance has to be restored in the universe. Okay, Eagles got to win. They're going to win. Now, how they're going to get it done is simple. Mahomes he's very mobile when need be. His best weapon is the tight end. If the Eagles linebackers or safeties can shut down Kelsey, you don't really have to worry about the cornerbacks on the outside. I mean, the receivers on the outside. You got two good corners, a rookie, but I think two rookies, I believe. Mitchell and I want to say Cooper. Oh, one was year one. Either way it go, they have the defense to stop these guys. Like, I don't look for them, their running game to do anything today. The Eagles have one of the best front sevens, well, D lines in the league next to the Texans. So it's a mirror game. We gave the Chiefs hell. The only thing the Eagles really need, other than to outplay them, is to get a couple of calls going their way, maybe one or two. That's all they need, bro. I'm telling you. I can give you a score prediction too. I look 24-14.
Oh man, you think the Eagles really gonna shut them down for real?
Yeah, like the Chiefs have played horribly all year. Like, they've had so many calls go their way. If you take half of those calls away, that team is probably 9-8, struggling to get into the playoffs. Because this has probably been Mahomes' worst year statistically since he's been in the league. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of excuses. Hey, this guy's hurt. He hasn't played with this person, or the O-line shuffle. He's still Mahomes. Brady made it work. Peyton made it work. Breeze made it work. Aaron Rodgers made it work. No excuse.
Yeah, man. What about you, Kyle, man? What you thinking about this game? Any key matchups, anything, specific?
Yeah, reading over the bulletin points, man. KC definitely going to have to try to find a way not to only stop Saquon from bouncing outside, because, he bounced outside and it's just him against cornerbacks. KC can tackle. Hey, cornerbacks can tackle. But as they start to implement the RPO, you also got to think about the risk that Jalen has had also. So outside containment is going to be huge for KC defense. And then you got to stop those explosive plays. The one thing that Philly need to do defensive-wise, man, I don't care if he goes to the blue tarp. You got to have two guys on him. That's Travis Kelce. Do not let that guy out of your sight. If he going to the tarp, I'm sending two guys to the tarp with him, man. And also, Philly offensive line, I think they can bully KC front. Like, we were bullying them on the run, and our offensive line wasn't a great cohesive unit. We didn't run the power scheme or anything, and we was bullying KC. Now, you got to keep up with Chris Jones, but I think that once they start to establish the run and the offensive time of possession, that's going to make KC have to come off of Russian Hunt and Pacheco, and then you're going to put the ball in, number 15 hands, and you got to contain him. So that's my little points that I wanted to make.
100%, 100%, bro. What's up, Nitty, man? What you thinking, bro?
Y'all know, well, we talked a little bit before the show. Like VT said earlier, this is kind of a hate watch for me, in so many different ways. Like, now I ain't gonna lie, I want to bring it down to Houston a little bit. What's going on with with DeAndre Hopkins, right? I know a lot of us Texans fans are gonna be watching this, and I've been seeing over Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and it's kind of been a tug of war between the people who want to see DeAndre Hopkins win a Super Bowl. Me personally, and I'm just being honest, and this is just because I'm a Texas fan, true. I think sometimes, I don't know if DeAndre Hopkins understands that the fans didn't trade him. It was the organization, and I know he says a lot about the organization, kind of sneak dissing a little bit, but honestly, yeah, I'm just being honest. I don't want to see him win a Super Bowl in the Kansas City uniform. I just don't want to see that. I know that, I even thought about it from all kind of situations. I was like, man, his mama, the stuff that his mom went through. I'm pretty sure that story, in us in Houston, we know that story well, but I'm pretty sure they kind of exacerbated it a bit this week, probably during Super Bowl week. I haven't been watching none of that stuff, but I'm pretty sure if DeAndre Hopkins was talked about, then the domestic violence towards his mama probably came up. And I look at it from that standpoint, and I'm like, man, it would be nice, what I'm saying, for her to be able to, know that a son is, won a Super Bowl. But it still doesn't pass the fact, bro, that, and I hope y'all don't get mad at me out there, I still don't want to see bro win today, bro. I'm just not with the, hey, man, I'm a root for Kansas City just because I want to see DeAndre Hopkins win the Super Bowl thing. Not with that. As far as matchups and stuff go, for a person that's just, like I say, doing a hate watch, I just want to see everybody who has on a green uniform beat the hell out of anybody who has on a red uniform. That's it. That's my matchup. My matchup is that whole 53 that's wearing green over there, smash that other 53 over there that's wearing the red. And I think it's possible. I think that what the Eagles bring to the table is kind of like what the Texans could have been if we would have had the right type of offensive line scheme, which it looked like that's what we about to have. If we would have had that, because I'm jealous of their offensive line, y'all. Like, when I look at their offensive line, it's like, oh my God, it's everything you want to see it. And even they bag ups, because I was watching that game, and what was the game that they played to get in?
The Commanders, right?
Yeah, against the Commanders, somebody got hurt. One of their offensive linemen got hurt, and you can hear the announcer kind of like, "Oh man, this could be serious," and blah blah blah, this and that. And the next man that stepped in, and it's like you still got Saquon going for 200 yards. It's just it's crazy on how good that offensive line is. So I'm pretty confident today that the Eagles come away with a Super Bowl win, and we celebrate for Jalen Hurts, who's a H-Town native, and that's how I run with it. That's how I'm gonna run with it today.
Yeah, man, that's kind of how I look at it too, man, because obviously our team ain't playing, but Hurts, man, is definitely from Houston. He reps the city. His little brother went to my school, TSU. You know what I mean? So I'm all for him. I hope that he does. I hope he wins, man. He's definitely got a huge task in front of him, though, which will lead into the next section, man. Spags, man. Like, how do y'all feel like the Eagles can take advantage of the all the blitz looks that Spags gives? Because although they've worked, and people haven't really been able to take advantage of the kind of the vulnerable positions that he's putting his DBs in at times. I think to me, like there was a play when I went back and watched it against us. I just feel like if CJ and Hutchinson could have connected on that post off of like a corner blitz, man, I feel like that could have damn near been a touchdown. And obviously, you know, you've seen the play that happened with Josh Allen last week where they sent like some kind of weird all out blitz and there was things open. But, you know, nobody's been able to crack that code, man. So what are some things y'all think that the Eagles can do to crack Spags, you know, and really just done what nobody else has been able to do this season?
Can I go to first?
Oh, yeah, you got it.
All right, so this is going to sound very generic, but it's very simple. Only a great quarterback that's cerebral can break that. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is cerebral. Today we will find out. What I mean by cerebral, you need to be watching the film, understand what they're doing, the formations that they run, that they show you. What do they give you out of those formations? If he can comprehend that at a quick rate, going to the line and finding the soft spots, the weak spots in that defense, because there are a lot of weak spots in that defense. But the quarterback has to be smart enough and quick enough to, hey, he's going to be open over here. Or, hey, I can get a quick slant over there. You know what I'm saying? He has to be able to understand it. And if he can, damn, you can drop 30 on Kansas City easily because they're not a team that's engineered to go drop 30 points if need be right now. They're struggling to get 21. So,
yeah.
It comes down on Jalen Hurts.
For sure, I think so too. What's up, Cal?
Yeah, I think it's going to be film study. And Philly has the weapon to counter any blitz. Like they could really gash them if you have them in the read option set and you got Saquon in the backfield and where you have Saquon kind of chip either because Spags, he may not blitz a corner or a safety the whole entire game and then the fourth quarter, here he comes. But wherever the blitz is coming from, that's where your weakness lies. And just like Patton said, if they can make that connection on film study to see, hey, this is where's the blitz coming from, a dump off could really gash Kansas City and make Spags think twice. But that's easier said than done because no team has done it in the last 2 years to make Spags stop blitzing. So I really think dumping it off in the backfield or, you know, if they're playing a single high safety and not two high safeties, hey, you got to trust that. What's your big? What is his name? AJ.
Yeah, AJ going.
AJ Brown. Hey, you know him. You know Jalen Hurts is known for just throwing that ball up there. It's like that Russell Wilson moon ball, and AJ going to get it. So that's one of the things you got to look for also. But that all comes with film study.
Yeah. What you think, V, man? I know you didn't get to answer the last question, bro. So what you think about the matchup, and do you think the Eagles will be able to take advantage of Spags and the blitz and stuff?
Yeah, I think if any team, honestly, in the NFL exists to beat Spaz, it's the Eagles. And the reason I say that is because they run the ball really freaking well. They run the ball more than any other team in the NFL, percentage-wise, 56% of the time. So they are set up to do what exactly the opposite of what Spaz wants to do, right? Because Spaz wants to blitz, it wants to get after the quarterback. But if you're running the ball a lot, it kind of nullifies the blitz in a lot of ways. So the next thing that he does is that he does do a lot of stunts. But their line is actually smart enough to pick up on him. And so, you know, they did struggle with that early on in the season, but then you saw that they picked up on it like week 4, week 5. And so now that line is like, it's basically one of the best lines in the NFL. You know, there's no doubt about it. And I think the fact is that they have such an incredible line, and they run the ball not just with Saquon. By the way, let's not forget that it's Saquon's birthday today, so let's wish him a happy birthday. And then he only needs, I think, 30 yards to beat Terrell Davis today, right? So
I think it's 34 yards. Yeah,
34 yards to beat Terrell Davis today. So I think Saquon. First of all, I think Saquon's going to have a great game. But going back to the how the Eagles deal with it, I think that you not only use Saquon, obviously, but use Hurts, right? Because the threat isn't just Saquon. The threat is when Hurts can grab the ball, and that's the real unknown. And like as many of you said, there's once you're in once you're in cover one or something. I mean, you're gonna be using AJ Brown or something. I mean, it's not like Hurts isn't gonna throw the ball. It's that he's not gonna throw the ball 40 times because he doesn't need to because he's gonna run it. But if you just try to stop the run, well, then he's gonna kill you with his receivers. So I think if there's any team that is set up to stop the Chiefs, it is the Eagles, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, man. What you think, Nitty?
Pun intended. Since you said frankly, I'm gonna actually say that I think that Spags look. It's kind of frustrating because I mean, according to us looking at the screen, it kind of looks like it's not that difficult because if you think about it, right, in the nature of defense, if you blitz and safeties, then there are like wide open spots. So I mean, you got to have hold on, let me find it.
These nuts.
You got to have
Got him.
you got to have some nuts. You got to have some nuts to actually be able to blitz your safeties because you're gonna leave so much open on the field. And I just think that a team, and it kind of upset me when the Texans didn't exploit that. It kind of upset me when the Bills didn't exploit that because it's like you've seen it coming. You've seen they did it against us. So Buffalo should have definitely been more prepared. And I think they were trying to get, if you see the way those plays were like kind of designed, the way like what you were saying earlier, Leo, like there were players actually open, but the safeties just got there so fast. So I think that's what Spags like depends on. He like, look, if I send you, it's imperative that you get there. You have to get there. And they've been successful at getting there. Off first, what I think of, I'm like, man, you have one of those offensive linemen, or you put one of those offensive linemen in the backfield or something, that fullback, something to smack the hell out of one of those safeties and make them like think about not coming back there for the rest of the game. I think that, and the Eagles are the team to do that if you think about it. They may have a play design. They might be willing to give up a hold down. Like, you know what? This play is not even going to matter if we get any yards on it. This play is going to be designed. As soon as we see them run that look with those safeties, one of them jokers come running back here, we going to smack you so hard that you're going to go to your coach. You're going to go and say, Spags, don't send me back there. Send somebody else because they prepared for this today. Somebody going to get their block knocked off. And I think that the Eagles are the team to do it. I think they prepared. I think they prepared for Spags and what he could bring today.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think it goes back to them being able to control the trenches, like you said, and all the RPO looks that hold the backside defenders. You know what I mean? To me, it just comes down to just like V said, being able to run the ball, keep the offense on schedule, because to me, that's what really, really screwed the Texans also to me in that game was we fell behind the chains, in key situations, when you fall behind the chains on Spags, it just gets – it's like fighting. I hate this. I was almost about to say it's like fighting God, but that's obviously he's not God. But it's like fighting. You're fighting their battle. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think staying on schedule. Just getting positive plays on first down. Like if literally just not falling behind the chains. 2 yards is better than 0 yards. 2 yards is better than a sack, right? Some of those plays, you got explosive players like Saquon. You got an explosive line like we've been talking about. Some of those 3-yard plays eventually turn into 15-yard runs, 20-yard runs. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just that. And then eventually, man, you when you do get the look, you have to make them pay. Because that's the thing too. We talking about you brought up a good point, having the players in the spot to basically knock the hell out of the players, right? But the thing is like if let's say early in this game, if he sends a blitz and Hurts, hits a pass that ends up being like a 50-yard touchdown. That's something that I haven't seen the Chiefs really give up against one of those crazy blitzes. And now, like, the guy that's supposed to be in control of the game in terms of his mind, right, and controlling the pace of the game with Spags, right, he's just got punched in his mouth. And how does Spags respond when he gets punched? I don't think anyone knows yet because I haven't seen it. I mean, when's the last time you seen him give up a 50-yard play? I can't really remember, off the top of my head, So, but yeah, man, I could go on. We could go on and on just about that. But let's talk about this, man. What is the key for the Eagles defense to slow down Mahomes? The whole talk about how Mahomes has played this year has been, he's not throwing the ball deep down the field. But here's the thing. He doesn't really have to. They're one of the most efficient offenses on rundowns, with the RPOs, man. What do y'all think is the key to stopping the RPOs, and do the Eagles have the horses to stop it? Let's start off with Cal, man. What you thinking, bro?
Point I want to make on that is you got to get early pressure to Mahomes. Any quarterback that develops a rhythm has a way to figure out your defense. And if he get comfortable without pressure, then that's when you'll see guys like Hollywood Brown, Worthy get more confidence, and Pacheco coming out of the backfield. Like, you have to get to him really, really early. You have to tackle that dude with caution because it's the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift is going to be on that big 50 by 50 foot screen, and you have Donald Trump that's supposed to be in the house to watch history being made. So we already know, man, the referees, everybody don't like to talk about the referees, but you got to tackle that guy with extreme caution. I'm quite sure that's been talked about a whole lot. And because the whistles will be ready. So you got to get early pressure on Mahomes. I'm not really scared of Pacheco coming out of the backfield. And Kareem Hunt, he's running good behind that line, but I think you can also, contain him. But get pressure on Mahomes early. Make them have to be uncustomarily a passing team, because the key to Kansas City is they want to keep the score after the first quarter 10-7. After halftime, 17-14. They want to be within a touchdown because they already know that they're one play away from making you become uncharacteristic in what you like to do. And once they go up 24-20, okay, here comes Spags dialing up stuff, and then here come the turnover, and then here go the ball game. So you got to get the Mahomes pretty early.
Hell yeah, man.
Wow.
What you think, Patton, bro? How you think they gonna stop it, man?
The exact same. Just to shed a different light on it, the front seven has to be immaculate, but the linebackers, let's focus on them. If the front seven can do what it's supposed to do, what it can do, it's going to come down to the linebackers being able to flow freely to stop the run and spy on Kelsey. It's pretty simple. Like this Chiefs team is not no powerhouse. The running game is very suspect. Their short passing game is what helps them because Mahomes is willing to take the short pass versus trying to hold on to the ball and look down the field. Their offensive line is kind of shaky too, minus that one great offensive player they got, but he can't play all positions at the same time. So wherever Turney's at, just know that side of wherever he's at, it's nothing's happening over there. Good luck. But the other guys, you got to get home. And the linebackers, man, I'm gonna say Brun. Is it Brun? I believe. Zach Brun.
Oh yes, Zach Bond, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has to play he needs to do what Aziz didn't do. And if he does that, they win in the game.
Man, you just ripped the whole Band-Aid off, huh? God dang.
I feel like
about that.
I feel like with the Eagles defense would have to do against Kansas City, because like you said, Leo, they kind of do this thing where they don't have to go downfield. They if you look at the way they run their offense, it's a lot of short crosses. And they have these where especially Worthy makes that offense work, and it's crazy because he's a rookie, but what he's been able to do for their offense as far as those drag routes, like I don't know if people understand how crucial it is whenever Worthy takes like he starts off on one side of the field and he's just running across the other. There's not too. If y'all know, he ran like a 4.2. There's not too many receivers who can. I mean, not too many corners who can stay with him. So when he's running across that field, it's like it's almost every time I see that play, it works, and it's like because nobody can stay with him. So you got to worry about that crossing route. So you're gonna have to take care of Worthy. My key player on defense today to watch is gonna be Carter on the defensive line, because he brings this nastiness to the game that I think that they're gonna need today. It's gonna be imperative for them to to have this attitude to go, but we all know, like Patton just said, you can't go in there and you can't be too rough. You can't, because if you go in there, the ref's gonna be like, okay, we which they shouldn't, but it's almost like the refs get up in the morning and be like, look, we're gonna protect Patrick Mahomes, which is supposed to be we're gonna protect all the quarterbacks on the field, but it seems like they protect Patrick Mahomes a little bit more. I just, like I say, I think Carter just needs to, with his attitude, I think it just needs to infect the whole defensive line, and they just need to get after Patrick Mahomes today on the sack end. Keep him boxed in. What do they call that kind of Russian style where you I think they call it a muddle rush, something like that.
I've heard people say mush rush.
Where it's kind of like where you kind of you try to keep basically contained while rushing at the same time. And I think that's what they're gonna have to do, because it's diabolical how Mahomes is like actually known for his feet now. It's like it's crazy. Like, bro, and it's not that he's fast, it's just that, bro, it's almost seeming like bro got good. If you were playing Madden, they would say you got good stick. Like Patrick Mahomes just knows how to cut and run whenever he's running. And it's crazy. He did it against us, and we actually caught him. And what happened? Flag. So they just got to keep him from getting out in the open field, because I feel like once he's in the open field and he turns into a runner, that's when it's hot. The risk for a flag goes up even higher. I just think that once he's out there and he's running, and we can all see that, oh shit, Mahomes is out there, I think the ref's already got his hand on the flag and like, hey, okay, somebody gonna hit him, and we're gonna just see how hard he gets hit. And then they throw the flag. So I just think, like I say, they just need to be stout in the front. That's what I think.
Hey, can I interject real quick, Leo?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's what Patton just said with the linebackers, and it's also what Nitty just said about Patrick Mahomes, his ability to read what the zone linebackers and safeties are doing. Pat really don't escape outside the tackles. Pat will watch the linebackers drop back in a hook zone, following Kelsey, following the running back out of the backfield. And once his first step get through the line, he's already 5-7 yards past the line of scrimmage. So he has the vision ability to see what the linebackers are doing to pick up those big runs. So that's why when Patton say the linebackers is important, you have to be able to use a spy on him. But with Pat, you can't use a spy for 60 minutes because it's going to create a hole in that defense somewhere. So you got to pick and choose. So now it becomes chess.
Right.
But that's what I want to interject on.
No, 100%, bro. And I think, Nick, bro, like, man, we see the game very similar, bro, because to me, it's about Carter. Like, if Carter, like, to me, I've been saying the whole 2 weeks is that if Carter is the best player on the field, it's going to be hard. You already know everybody tries to contain Patrick Mahomes. Everybody wants to keep him in the pocket. But when he doesn't have, like Cal just said, when he can't step up, you know what I'm saying? Like if Carter makes it to where he can't consistently feel comfortable stepping up into the pocket, it's going to be almost no way that he can, like, escape, you know, at that point. And then at that point, everybody just got to tackle well. Like, yeah, they're going to get some first downs. I think they average, it's almost like 4 yards completion on like a RPO. So if he making the right read, they're gonna get some first downs. But just like we said on the other end, it's just about getting them behind the chains that one time, and then giving yourself a chance to get off the field on third down, making them convert a third and long, and then the pass rush becomes even more important, right? And we all know that the Eagles have a serious pass rush. I mean, dude, I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches on their D line, bro. But V, man, what are you thinking about? Like, how do the Eagles slow down Mahomes?
Yeah, I think it's important to realize what the Chiefs have been doing the past couple of years with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And if you look at what Patrick Mahomes used to be, 3-4 years ago compared to the last 2 years, he's really been uh, re- re- really been checking down as far as you want to call it. Well, actually, at the end of the day, right? The stat that I saw a couple days ago was that 27% of all the throws that Patrick Mahomes is making is either at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. 27%, man. So I mean, not to go on too far on a tangent, but Leo, me and you have been talking about what CJ Stroud has to do in order to excel next year, and I know we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just wanted to make sure viewers remember this point, the what Patrick Mahomes is doing. Because people think, that you need to have 300 yards in every game, and you need to have a lot of explosive plays to be a successful quarterback. But that's not the case. Kansas City is like 15th overall in points per game. Same like in yards per game, and yet they're at the Super Bowl. Their offense is the 31st explosive offense in the league, and they're going to the Super Bowl because they're efficient. They're efficient on third downs. So how do the Eagles stop that? Well, the Eagles have to stop that by being sound and tackling. So I know sounds very generic, but it's true. The Chiefs, one of the reasons why the Chiefs have been successful, again, now this is not an offense, but on their defense, they're one of the best tackling teams in the freaking league, right? So the Eagles have to be able to do that. Now, everyone's talking about at the Eagles front seven. They have one of the best front sevens, and you're right. Statistically, they actually have the best team to go against the Chiefs. That's why I said that in the beginning. The stat that I'll try to remember because I don't actually have this written down. Usually, I have all my notes in front of me, but the Eagles only allow 4.1 yards. On every single throw that's either behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. And that's the lowest in the NFL. So they are literally the best team to stop a team like the Kansas City Chiefs that continually throw behind or at the line of scrimmage. So what do they have to do? Do what they've been doing, frankly, on defense. The one thing they also have to do, and I know we've all been talking about this, is they have to make sure that they have eyes on Kelsey. He gets free in amazing situations, particularly when there's a scramble, off-script stuff. Him, Kelsey and Mahomes' relationship is a lot like CJ and Nico's, right? They both know where to go when the play breaks down, and that's something where the Eagles they're going to get burned a few times. But their goal is try not to get burned forever. I will say this though: the thing to this interesting is Vic Fangio has never won against Mahomes. Mahomes is undefeated against Vic Fangio. So I am sure that he is going to be trying every damn thing that he has in the book to stop Mahomes today. And it'll be fun to see what new stuff that he's actually going to try.
100%. Now let's get to the reason why we're here, man. You know what I mean? The Texans, right? Texans talk, man. Let's talk about 2025, bro. So we fell short this year. We made changes in the offseason, and we're going to even make more changes, man. So let's start off with Nitty, bro. Man, what do you think that the Texans need to do for us to be in the Super Bowl next year?
I think quiet as kept. I think we did it already. I think Nick Caley hire, if we are familiar with how the Rams I've said this on the show, so I just want to reiterate it. I hadn't been really paying attention to the Rams this year. I remember us playing them. We were actually at that game live when we played the Rams in the preseason, and I remember, like I said, they were a thought in the back of my mind. I was totally focused on the Texans, but what brought them up is one day I was watching a game, and I think it was like week 16 maybe, and you know how at the end of the season they go to showing you how what teams in the standings where and who's probably going to make it into the playoffs or whatever. And I seen that the Rams were not just in the hunt, but actually one of the wild card teams. And it was just amazing because I feel like they did that so quietly. Like I was like, man, I didn't even know they were doing that good over there. And when I started to pay attention, I went and did a little investigation, and I started to see that it was pretty much, just good offensive play that those guys had going on over there that allowed them to stay in games. And, I even watched a few of their games, a few cut-ups. I didn't watch the whole game, but to make a long story short, it let me see that, like, even on a down year, on a year where they weren't even supposed to do nothing, that McVay is just a serious coach, and he's a problem to deal with. His offense is serious, and everybody that comes from up under his tree, even though I know he's a person who's came from up under the tree, but when you think about his branch and what he was branched off from him has just been ultra successful in the NFL. And add that to the fact that, Mahomes, I mean not Mahomes, that my guy CJ was saying that, he was watching the Rams, and that he felt like they had a good offense, and I think he's very excited to have Nick Caley. I'm excited. One of the main things that's got me excited is when I heard about the play of the offensive line and how that we may go back to running the ball similar to when Damian Pierce's rookie year, which made my ears perk up, because to get a Damian Pierce back that could, because I'm glad we didn't let him go. I definitely want to give kudos to the Texas organization for not letting Pierce go, because I think that Pierce is gonna, and I don't know next year, how many years will he have on his contract after next year?
That's
I think
it.
technically it's just next year. Right?
Oh, okay. So I'm
Year.
thinking we're gonna get the best DP ever, because he's gonna be running for a contract somewhere. I don't know if hopefully it will be with us, but I think that DP is gonna have a fit this year. But yeah, make the long story short, and I just think that the Nick Caley hire is really the thing that's gonna push us over the hump. I think the defense is what it is. We're a lights out defense. I just think that we pick one more player on that defense, and it's really lights out, and that's really for that safety position that's out there, that's glaring hole that we need. But other than that, though, this is the Nick Caley hire for me.
Yeah, man. What you thinking, Cal? I know you you were talking about the hire earlier, man. Get into it, and why do you think it's good, and what else do you think we need to do to be Super Bowl contenders?
Well, ever since, one thing we can say about Nick Caserio, when let's just go ahead and minus the first 2 years. The first 2 years of Caserio regime was to just put a field out there, put a team out there to just, we know that Levy or Cully wasn't long-term hires. So when you look at Caserio third year in drafting and free agency, one one thing he always did was address the offensive line. So in the offseason, we always heard people say, hey, you got to address the line, you got to address the line. Well, he paid 2 tackles that was drafted in the first round. He drafted Kenyon Green first round. He gave Shaq a top 10 contract at right guard. He drafted Fisher in the second round, and he also drafted Juice in the second round. Nick do believe in addressing the line. The one thing I can say is the notes that I made is it's going to be O-line chemistry, coaching, health, and cohesion. What I mean by that is I think these guys are talented enough, but I think health, cohesion, and just buying into the scheme. Now, we know there's going to be some changes made. I know some people don't want Titus, some people don't want Laramie, however it may be. But one thing I can say is the people that's in the room that watch the film probably know way more about us combined. So right now, we just have to sit back and say, okay, hey, what are they going to do? But the hire with Caley, truth be told, the way it unfolded, man, it kind of almost seemed like the Texans went through, the rigors of interviewing a lot of people. But I think it was one of those things that Caley was probably the first choice. And the reason why I say that is you can't deny that D'Amico had first choice with Slowick. But when you look at Caley and you look at the history of what New England him and Casario being in New England, people get caught up on not calling plays. Well, eventually you got to call a play sometime. So he's familiar with the offensive line, coaching wise. He's familiar with tight ends, so that's all blocking and everything. And I just think it's one of those things that when you look at the candidates, you look at the age, you look at the experience. I think he was the best choice, and I'm just waiting to see what they're going to roll out in the first day of NFL season, and when we start to go into free agency. That's the part that I'm excited because that's going to let you know how the draft is going to go. The way the players that we pick up in free agency, you'll kind of say, oh, okay, they leaning this way, so they must going to go this way in the draft. They're going to find a safety in the draft. But if there's a safety that they find in free agency that's not even on our map, then they're not going to be looking that way in the draft. So I'm pretty excited to see what's going to go on, man.
Yeah, me too, bro. Man, RV. So what you thinking, bro? And I see Texans Changes. He talked about Cap. You know what I mean? I know you're the Cap guy on Texans22 for sure, bro. So I know you got a mouthful for us, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll address the cap here. I mean, Texas Changes is 100% right. He said work of the cap is what we read right now. There's a lot of different decisions that we have to make right now, and I know a lot of people think that it's just easy to free up cap. And is it easy to free up cap? There's consequences to every action, and I think, for example, one of the things we did last season was when we added Diggs. With the way that we constructed his contract, we have $16 million of dead cap now that's on the books, right? And in order to free up that dead cap, you have a choice. You can either re-sign Diggs or you can let him go. If you let him go, we'll sit with that $60 million dead cap. But if we re-sign him, that means we're probably going to have to add $10 to $15 million to bring him back. So, or whatever you think it's going to cost to bring him back. So Texas Changes right. We do have to work on the cap. Could we free up $40 million? Sure. But what that will do, it was to limit what we want to do later down the road. For example, if we don't get a ring this year, that will significantly reduce our chances to compete in the following year. So yeah, cap is something that Nick has definitely have to get under control. Because we're going to have to make changes. And some of the changes that we're going to have to make, if, for example, are on the O-line. Shaq Mason, he's got to go. The best way to get rid of Shaq Mason is a post June 1st designation. You free up, I think I actually have this up here. Hold on. $9.4 million. You free up $9.4 million. You have $5 million of dead cap. He should not play at all for us, so we don't have to worry about getting a trade or anything for him. So he's the guy that you can get rid of after June. Other than that, you're going to have to think about who do you want to restructure. So that's going to be a huge deal because we're going to have to need cap. We need 2 wide receivers. Let's think about this. We only have Nico Collins. We don't really have anyone else besides Nico Collins on a wide receiver room that we can trust. So you need 2 wide receivers. And then on top of that, we need depth for a secondary. So, we see the issues that we have with Jimmy Ward when he gets hurt. And so, even Kalen Bullock got hurt. So we need some depth there. Petrie got hurt. So you need some depth for a secondary. You need some depth for a defensive line. Overall, there are pieces that we need to be. There's nothing that I think, oh my God, how are we going to do it? There's ways that we can do it. The interesting thing is going to be how Casario prepares his team for the future. How much does he go all in, and how much does he say, okay, I want to go 70% in? Because there's a way to go all in and hurt yourself for the future, and there's a way to go and restructure yourself with the cap where even if you don't get a ring next season, you're not putting yourself in a position where you're saying, okay, we have no chance to compete. So that's the interesting thing that we'll have to see from Nick this year. It's going to be very, very challenging from a cap perspective. And as far as, like I said, from a roster perspective, we need to get the O-line together.
Yeah, I 100% agree. All right, Patty, man. So what are you thinking, bro? What are some changes you think we can make? Or how you feel about the hire?
I want to piggyback off what BT was saying for the reconstructures. I agree 1,000%. Shaq got to go. The other guy I feel like that has to go is Diggs. Most definitely. I'm sorry, not Diggs. Dalton Schultz.
Oh, we're gonna lose if you get rid of Dalton, though.
Somebody would take him. The Browns have saved us before.
Yeah.
What I'm
you're saying in a trade, like not just release them.
Yes. Oh, Thomas.
It's gotta be in a trade.
All right. So, damn, I like Thomas' comment. I seen it earlier, but I was waiting for the draft talk. But so reconstruction. A few guys. I played with the cap the other day. Autry, Howard, and Mason. If you decide to keep them, if you restructure those guys or cut them post June 1, you say you will have at least up to, I want to say, 34 million in cap space. But the thing is, when you reconstruct your contract, you're kicking money up the road. So it's like I'm not fixing a pipe, I'm putting a Band-Aid on it, and I'm gonna try to fix it later. And then next year, now I got 2 leaks. Let me put another Band-Aid on it. And at some point, I don't want to end up like the Saints are, when they've been a cap hell since Breeze left. So at some point, we're gonna have to lose some guys that we are fond of. Now, what's gonna make us better this year? We're going into next year. What'll get us to the Super Bowl? And this may kind of jump into the draft talk. At 25, if we stay there, there's a generational guy, a generational safety, that I feel if we take him, we would have completed the no-fly zone with our defense. I trust D'Amico with the front seven. As we know, D'Amico is not a DB coach. He's a linebacker coach. He understands how the front seven is supposed to work. If you got 4 guys back there that know what they're doing, that can play on the same level, like in sync, dude, you got a problem. Like Legion of Boom problem, like Ed Reed problem, Troy Polamalu problem. Like, you got a real problem. Like, guys are going to have a hard time passing on us. Let's be real, man. CJ had an okay year. I feel like, man, I'm probably on this hill by myself. He had a sophomore slump. He did. You can give 1,000 reasons, excuses why. It was offensive line, it was play calling. There was a lot of times when he just wasn't in the game. We need him to play at a high level like he played in his rookie year. With the bringing on Nick Caley, he was not my first choice. Wasn't my second choice. Wasn't my third choice. The guy I pounded the table for was Doug Peterson. I feel like Doug can come in and just focus on offense and revamp it. Now we're going into a situation where we have a new play caller who is also a first-time play caller. So I expect the first year to be lights out, wonderful, amazing, how it was CJ rookie year. But I'm more so worried about how the second year would be. If we don't get to the Super Bowl next year off a call or a missed field goal or an injury or a turnover, whatever reason why we don't get to the Super Bowl next year, we have to repeat that going into year 4. And year 4 is going to be very, very paramount for us. And I know I'm kind of already a year ahead. I'm looking for us to get to at least the AFC Championship next year, at least. If we get to the AFC Championship, win, lose, or draw, that's a successful season. This year for me was not successful. It was just made it to the second level and went home. We look good going home this time, but we still went home.
Think about the goodness of it, though. And if you put it together with everything you said, we still made it to the divisional round with CJ having a sophomore slump, basically. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to hang your hat on, pound the table over, or beat your chest about, like, hey, okay, same old shit. We want better, we deserve better, and we should expect better. So, I got trust and faith in D'Amico.
To me, yeah, exactly, man. And honestly, I've been, people think, V especially thinks I could be really hard on CJ, and I know I can because I think he could be great. I think he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think he could be top 4. I think I don't think it's a talent issue. You know what I'm saying? And I want him to be the best. So I definitely hold his feet to the fire, because I believe in him, you know what I mean? So you're not alone there, man. Let's talk about this, man. You kind of brought it up too. I kind of got 2 topics kind of blended, but let's just start right here. All right, so with this news that's coming out right now that apparently while we've been live, Debo, the 49ers have given Debo the ability to seek a trade, him and his agent, right? So now let's talk about it, because at first it was just Cooper Kupp, right? And now we got a huge decision. Do we trade for Debo? Do we trade for Kupp? Do we re-sign Diggs? Or do we focus on the draft, man? Let's kick it out with Cal, bro. Like, I know you definitely into the draft, and you I know you got a strong opinion about all this, man. So what you thinking, bro?
I think the only connection, Houston fans, it doesn't matter if he's the 3rd cornerback for San Francisco. They're going to connect him with D'Amico and, hey, let's bring him over. I just think, man, going into the draft, one thing that D'Amico spoke about was separation when he was at the beginning of the year. He said we're looking for wide receivers with separation. Now, haven't watched a lot of San Francisco football last year to know if Debo has that same separation, but his stats showed me that he had a down year. Even they had injuries over there with San Fran. I think it's a few guys in the draft that we can just take a chance on. You might be kind of hamstrung into re-signing Stephon Diggs because if it's going to cost you 16 million, whether you have him or not, like V said, you still gonna have to put a little bit more 10 to 14 on top of it. But at least he knows the offense. He can play opposite of Nico, and he showed that he can be a team guy. But that Debo thing, I'd rather just try to go into the draft. I think there's a guy that I've been having my eye on. Somebody brought him to my radar. Uh, his name is Savion from TCU. Savion is, 6'5", 215, 220. If you line him opposite of Nico, you got a choice to make. And you're going to give cornerbacks some hell. Not cornerback safeties, some hell. So I think that when you have that solidified on both of your outside the hash marks, as far as your wide receivers, I think then working to the inside, you can bring in, a suitable tight end, a couple of slot receivers. We don't know what Hutch or Mitch is. We have no idea under this new offensive coordinator. But I'd rather go into the draft and see if I can find me two more. If I can find one in free agency, I don't know what you're going to get because we only got $6 million to cap. And if we start freeing up space, there's other positions that we also have to address. But if you have a quarterback still in his rookie deal, you have to address and give him the weapons that he needs. So whatever it may be, we addressed defense heavily last year. We got to address the offense and give CJ what he needs. So, yeah, I think V said at least two wide receivers. I think you got to bring in two or three wide receivers because V made it clear that we only have one that's under contract that we can depend on. That's Nico. Everybody else is question marks, so we just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%, man. Savion, bro. And here's the thing about Savion. Also, you brought him up. Is that you talking about a dude play wildcat quarterback as physically imposing as he looks as an outside receiver, man. We was just talking about Debo. You talking about a guy that is a severe threat with the ball in his hand. So like yak, screens, any kind of thing, even like jet sweeps, you know what I'm saying? Probably can line up in the backfield.
Running in between the tackles. That was one of the things that was impressive. Running in between the tackle, doing spin moves like mid stride, not losing acceleration, and still being able to bust it wide open. Like that dude was impressive. I don't know where they have him, slotted to go. But that's one guy that I'd be like, man, if I can line him up opposite of Nico, we'll have some problems.
Yeah, 100%, bro. All right, Nick, man, what you thinking, bro?
Let me see. Well, no, I'm just bullshit. Hold on, let me clear my throat. First and foremost, let me say this. Diggs is, I think his deal when he came to Houston, I think Nick was playing, like, I think that after this pans out, we'll say, like, Nick Caserio is, like, one of the greatest GMs ever because I do believe that when we signed Diggs and, when we traded for him, and we gave him that new deal where we kind of took the money from off of those other years to bring it up into this year right here, which made it seem like we were just basically trading a second round pick for 1 year and paid him all of that money. At that moment, I was mad. I'm telling you, I was mad. But when I thought about it, I say, I think I see what Nick is doing. And now that I see what's actually like unfolding, and I didn't expect Diggs to get hurt, but I think what Diggs told the Texans is that after this year, I'm going to re-sign with y'all. and I'm not gonna try to break the bank with y'all. I'm not gonna try to hit y'all over the head. If y'all can give me the money off of this contract and kind of bring it up into this year right now where I can get this money like this, I think it was a favor for a favor kind of thing that went on. So of course I think we bring back Diggs. I think this was already planned out when they took those years off the contract. Because we in a situation like somebody said earlier, it makes no sense not to sign him now. Like we pretty much have to sign him to save money. So we're gonna bring back Diggs now. The Cooper Cup and the Debo thing, those are both veterans. They've been injured. I won't say that they've just been riddled with injuries, but I went back and looked at Cooper Cup records ever since he signed that big deal, and he hasn't really finished the season, and he hasn't gotten back to where he was. Now, people love to say, hey, when he go back to a new team, go to another team, it's a new start. But hey, look at DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm bringing up DeAndre Hopkins again. He left and he went to these other teams. Now, when we traded him to Arizona, there was a few times I was watching those Arizona Cardinals games, and I was like, damn, he still looked like DeAndre Hopkins out there. Like, this still looks like the nuke. He still looked like nuke, you know what I'm saying? And then he went to the Titans, and I was like, well, that's not looking like, and we all know what the Titans are. That's where a lot of players go to, you know what I'm saying? They get put out the pasture. And, now he's in Kansas City, and I haven't seen him really just making extraordinary plays in Kansas City. So what I'm trying to say in so many words is that it's not just take the wide receiver, put him in a new place, and he's going to flourish. Even though Cooper Kupp will know this offense inside and out, I still just don't think that he's what us as Texas fans are in hunger for. We know now that we got a GM that can bring in talent, a young talent. The talent can be developed. I think that's what we need to go. We need to go with the young guys. I definitely want to look at, or not just look at, but talk about, Mechie and Hutchinson, right? A lot of people may think that, a new look offense may make those guys look good. I don't know if y'all giving up on them. I've kind of, in a sense, because, it's too many years that at the beginning of the year, they were like, yo, who you think your breakout player going to be? And it was a lot of Mechies and a lot of Hutchinsons. And we kind of seen that those guys kind of got this glass ceiling where we may have seen how high that these guys can go. I just think that, like what Cal said with that wide receiver, there's another wide receiver that I brought up on the show. He kind of has a weird last name. I think they were rating him like the number 10 wide receiver in the draft. And normally when you see a wide receiver that's rated down low as far as being the 10th best wide receiver in the draft, they have a possibility of making it to maybe down to 25 or whatever. But I want to see us pick one of the. Do y'all remember his last name, Pat?
I forget. He got a funny last name, but
out of all of the,
y'all know what school? Y'all remember what school he went to?
I want to say it's Miami.
Oh, you talking about Restrepo?
Restrepo, there you go, right there. Restrepo is, and he's looked at as the 10th wide receiver, and I looked at some of his plays, and I'm like, God, we have a lot of good wide receivers, but you got to think about the wide receiver that could make it to 25. I don't know if y'all would be cool, because I seen VT say that I would be cool with O-line too at 25. But to get, like, what hurts my heart is that a lot of the times is that we missed out on BTJ last year, right? Mm-hmm. And I just think that, man, if we'd had BTJ on the team this year, how it would have looked, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't want us to make that do that again. So yeah, I think we go wide receiver in the draft. I'm not in on the Debo thing, and I'm definitely not in on the Cooper Kupp. I think those guys are good players, but they can be good elsewhere. I don't think we need them.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's a lot of weapons this year in this draft, and I think if we moving towards this, like if what we don't really know exactly what he's gonna run, but like the thing with the Rams is like they have so many different guys that can do so many different things. It's almost like they kind of play like multiple positions. Like to me, Cooper Kupp and Nakua can play anywhere. They basically line up at like as an H-back a lot. And that's something that I do wonder about Diggs at. And like, I know it's something that nobody really talked about, but when we did use him in those type of roles where we motioned him in as a tight slot, he wasn't really that much of a difference maker and as a blocker. And I think that if you sign him back, obviously they have roles for him and like he could play outside, but in terms of like motioning, him and using him as an insert blocker, the way that we see Cooper Kupp and like Nakua and Amon-Ra used, like to me, that's something that I really wonder, does that kind of, if you need your number 2, number 3 receivers to do that, man, to me, it's kind of like, it's something that I think you might have to scheme around, you know what I mean? And or like I think Cal said, we talked about tight ends, like can we run more 12 personnel? Can you go get a move tight end that can come in and actually do those roles? And another guy that I know that, it's not some like it's not some sexy name, but a guy that I think can come in and do that type of role was on our team earlier this year, Ben Skoranek, and I think he kind of opens you up. He kind of opens you up to re-sign Diggs, to draft a guy that might not, like a Matthew Golden from Texas, right? That a guy that isn't physically imposing, but he doesn't have to be, because we got big guys around him that can take care of the mismatches and they can still be difference makers in the pass game, man. All right, Patton, bro. So what do you think? You brought up receivers and you brought up weapons and stuff in the draft. I know you talked about a safety you like, you know what I mean? But like, what you think about Debo, Kupp, retain Diggs? Is there anyone that you really love in our offense in this draft so far?
So going by what we don't know as far as what Nick Caley's going to bring, how the offense is going to look. But if we have to speculate and say it's going to be a mirror of what the Rams run, a lot of times there's star receivers in the backfield. A few times this year we seen Nico in the backfield. I don't want to see Nico in the backfield. I don't want to see Diggs in the backfield. Now, if we were to somehow finagle San Fran and bring on Debo, he would be the perfect person out of the backfield, right? However, I feel like Debo got his money, and for his production-wise, he's going to be long in the tooth going forward. He's going to have to go somewhere that's going to make him the offense about him and about him only, and that's not going to be here. Cooper Kupp, I feel like, God forgive me, bringing on Cooper Kupp is like bringing on Robert Woods. He just white. Like, period. You bringing on a guy that know the offense. Like, he going to give you what he got. And that's that. But he going to give you what he got at a high salary cap hit. Not interested. Yeah. So that brings us to the draft, right? Before we get to the draft, Diggs. Me personally, I'm open to bringing Diggs back, but on a very, very low cap hit number. It's better to keep him than it is to let him go somewhere else, or if you can. The NFL don't do signing trades, so that's not going to work. But it's better. It's cheaper to keep her, as the old song say, right? However, this is a 31-year-old receiver that's coming off of ACL. You got to address the draft at the receiver position. You just got to. Me and you talking, I think you like Burden, LB3. I'm more of a Golden guy. Mm-hmm. Comparing the two, I mean, Golden is electric. He can burn. He has burners. He can leave you where you at. With Burden, with LB3, he's fast in space. He's one of those guys that you can't catch him in a phone booth. If y'all run a stride for stride, you got a chance. His footwork, which he has good footwork and body movement, he has to rely on those things to get open. Like I told you, if you're at 25 and the guy I really want, which is Starks from Georgia, if Starks not there and you have to pick between Golden and LB3, I'm going Golden. It just makes the most sense to me.
All right, but here's the thing though, and I'm gonna kick this one off to V because probably gonna have to start wrapping it up soon. But first of all, before we get to that, man, if y'all are on our channel, man, and y'all aren't subbed to Texans on 3, please sub to them, man. And 100% they make great content. All three of them are good people, man. And we'll post the link on Twitter, and and make sure that y'all sub to them. But going back to what we talking about, like, all right, so V, and I know I'm gonna kick it off to you. So we talking about weapons, we talking about Matthew Golden, Egbuka. Even I know a lot of people like Egbuka.
And Bond. I like Bond out.
Oh, who?
Bond.
Bond, yeah. Bond. A hell of a lot of weapons, man. I'm one of the weird people that really like guys that are gonna be picked in rounds 2 and 3 this year. In terms of weapons, also 2 through 4 possibly, right? So V, let me ask you something, bro. We talk about the offensive line. We talking about moving on from Shaq Mason, right? With the acquisition, like, which is more important to you, signing or drafting a lineman at 25, or drafting or a receiver, both high end? If you could pick between like this high end talent and that high end talent, which one do you think would basically set up CJ for success and the offensive coordinator?
I mean, the question for me is easy. It's O-lineman, because no matter, you could have 3 Nico Collins out there, but if you can't get them the ball, it really doesn't freaking matter. Now, obviously, if CJ Stroud starts getting the ball much quicker out, that changes my answer. But so far, he hasn't been able to do that with his career. So I am assuming that he will next year. Like, I think that is part of the goal. But right now, I think that if you're telling me it's receiver or lineman, it's lineman all day long. Right now, CJ takes about 3 seconds or so to get the ball out, and that means he needs more protection up front. The minute that he can get the ball out in under 2.5 seconds, like Tom Brady or even Patrick Mahomes, who does that to avoid the blitz and so forth, then it makes it changes my answer. But for right now, it's definitely linemen. Just to very, very quickly to talk about whether or not we should bring back Diggs or sign Kupp or Debo. Here's my thing on Diggs. I don't think we should bring him back. I think that what we did was proper at the time. It was the right decision. But I think bringing back a 31-year-old that came off an ACL tear, and I think the only reason to bring him back that a lot of people are talking about is the $60 million dead cap. I think you don't want to throw good money after bad. And I'm not saying that he would be necessarily bad here, but I don't think he would necessarily do everything that we want to do. Leo brought up the fact that Diggs isn't really a blocker the way that Kupp is. And I think that is something that is a reason why you would want to pay him, because you're going to give him at least another $10 million on top of the $16 million dead cap. So that's at least $10 million right there. Now, would I bring in Debo? I would have loved Debo 2 years ago. Right now, I'm not really sure. He also is very, very injury prone. Also, 3 years ago, man, I would have been salivating to bring him over here. Pause, but I mean, not anymore. Kupp, I would consider. It really depends on the structure, honestly, though, because of what 2021 isn't that far away. Right? I mean, we're not talking like the last time Cooper Kupp was successful was 2016 or some shit. I mean, it was real. I mean, the dude just literally had one of the best wide receiver years in his career just 3 years ago. This dude, yes, he's as old as Diggs, but he didn't have a season-ending injury last year. So structure is really what it comes down to. And that means how many void years can we put on? How much can we play with the numbers to have his cap hit not hurt us, not just this year, but because it's a multi-year deal for him. So he would have to not affect So he would have to not affect the cap for multiple years, at least 2 years. You basically don't want to pay him and CJ Stroud basically at the same time, right? So they can't necessarily overlap. It has to be broken up. So that's really more of a financial concern on that side. The one thing I will say, I know you want to wrap this up soon. Leo, if you want to play this, go ahead. If not, don't worry about it. But one thing that you have said that I think that Sean Payton actually talked about, I have the video here if you want to play it, is that you need a joker. We were talking about wide receivers, and you have been talking about this, Leo, for probably 3 months. And Sean Payton just said this to Kate Adams a couple of days ago. And what he said is that, do you want me to play the video, Leo?
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
We knew the evaluation of our team.
Yeah.
And the purpose of that is then to establish what we call must, needs, and wants.
Must, needs, wants. Okay.
So who are our musts?
Your must, you need a veteran wide receiver. That's what I think. I'd like to see you.
I'd say we need a joker
You need a Reggie Bush.
An interior, and a joker now can be a tight end or a running back that has exceptional. We were spoiled here.
Yeah.
When you think about it, all right, you had Reggie, you had Jimmy Graham, Jeremy Shockey, Darren Sproles, Alvin Kamara. Those are interior, either tight ends or running backs.
Jokers.
That they have to be elite receivers that play tight end or running back. And then you get the matchups and.
So basically what he's been saying, again, is exactly what Leo's been saying for 3 months or so, which is that you don't have to just look at a receiver there. You can look at a tight end or you can look at a running back. And as long as they are an elite receiver, meaning that they can catch as well as block, as well as run the ball if they're a running back, as well as block if they're a tight end, then you don't need to just go receiver, 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 even if you have 4 tight ends on the roster right now. Does that mean that they don't take a tight end in the first round? For example, Kosa Loveland, go blue. So I just wanted to throw that out there that Leo's been saying that for months. Sean Payton is saying the same damn thing. I mean, can't be wrong, man. Can't be wrong.
I'd even include the receivers as jokers too. Like we talk about Amon-Ra. I think Amon-Ra is in the same mold of like all of those guys. He's a guy that is an interior mismatch, against linebackers and slots in the run game and all that stuff. But here's the last thing. We're going to wrap it up with this, bro. And honestly, I forgot that question. I was going to ask Cal, and then V went off and started playing Sean Payton and shit, and now I'm fucking lost. But anyway, man, this is my first time doing this, man, as y'all can see. Man, shout out to Texans23 again, bro. Thank y'all for coming.
Appreciate you, bro.
100%, bro.
Appreciate
now, let me ask y'all one more thing, though, bro. Fuck it. You know what? We're at the end of the show. Sorry, V, I'm saying the F word at this point. But, bro, listen, I want to find the best place in Houston, man, that has the best wings. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all give me some places that I might not have tried, bro? Please.
Here we go.
Have you been on the north side, off of Northway side?
Northway side.
And there's a little place over there called Chicken Plus.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So you've had Chicken Plus. So
I've had Chicken Plus, yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to tell you that that's like the best wings in Houston. I don't know where else you gonna get them from now. You can't sit in there and watch the game, but I'm gonna tell you this: you can go in there. Maybe on Stream Meets, you can go sit down and then, you know what I'm saying, which and do it like that. But other than that, though, I'm hands down. I already know who Patton is gonna say, but I'm hands down Chicken Plus.
Okay.
Best wings in Houston.
100%, bro. Pat, what you thinking, bro?
Tim and Chan on MLK.
Okay.
I just look here. Even Tim and Chan is that girlfriend that done cheated on me. She done burnt me. She done got pregnant by other people. And I just keep going back. I just keep going back, I love her.
Tell Nash for real. I'm seeing
I'm over here dying.
Go to I'm telling you, Chicken Plus will change your life, man.
Chicken Plus is good. Now, when I got exposed to Chicken Plus, Tim and Chan, she had been cheating on me enough and changing the recipe. I had to let her go. I straightened
where do you put Patton? Where do you put Chicken Plus on your list, though?
Right now, a solid 3. Tim and Chan 1. What I got on the grill 2, and then Chicken Plus 3.
All right. Well, Patton say he one of the best wing spots in Houston, y'all. So hold him to that. Make sure y'all go by Patton's house. Hey, drop the address so people can come and get some wings, bro. No, he make good wings though on the grill. Like I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to barbecue wings, he got some of the best I done tasted in my life. For real. So yeah, he good on the grill. But as far as an establishment, hey, I feel like Timmy Chan's will leave a feather or 2 on your chicken sometime. They not 100% plucked all the time. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a pluck. They don't give a pluck over there. Over there.
Hey, I'm gonna have to use that. I'm gonna have to use that, bro. I'm gonna have to use that, man.
Goddamn! Shout out to Brandon, man.
Yeah. What, Cal, bro? What about you, man?
Man, if it's not my own wings, man, I got a place over here by my house on 249 in Bama, North Houston. LA Cajun Crawfish.
Oh, okay.
They got some pretty good wings, and I'm not with the. Now I know a lot of people talk about a lot of wing spots. I haven't been to quite a bit because I normally just go do my own. Like I create my own spice rub and throw it on a pit or I fry them. I pretty much do stuff like that. But I'm not really a big wing spot when I go out to eat because I just hate the way that they have bamboozled us and taking a damn wing, cutting it in half, and charging us for a wing. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah,
that is
crazy.
the biggest robbery ever. That's crazy, man. But hey, I say LA Cajun crawfish, Bama and 249.
Okay, all right. Yeah, man. So listen, man. Let everybody know where they can find y'all, man. And shit, we're gonna go ahead and close off, bro.
All right, we are the Texans on 3 podcast, and once again, I want to give y'all an applause for having us on. We appreciate it. Y'all can find us on X. It's spelled just like how you think it would be. It's Texans on 3. We on Instagram and we're on Facebook. You can like, share, subscribe to all of those places. Like I say, man, we do this stuff. We take this Texan stuff real serious. What else can I say about us? Man, we fun to watch. We have a lot of fun. We did the live game commentaries this year, so shout out everybody that rode out with us on that. Definitely shout out everybody in the bull ring. I mean, we call our comment section the bull ring, but shout out everybody in the comments section that you know what I'm saying, that gave that commented and the ones that came from our side. We appreciate y'all following us over here and stuff like that. It's definitely a beautiful thing when Texans creators can come together. A lot of the times, man, and it's actually starting to get sickening. I actually feel like I'm the guy that's going to try to bring an end to this because I'm going to call it out. But there's been a lot, just for a few seconds, I want to say that there's been a lot of like kind of mess that goes on in the Texans community. I'm not going to talk about anything specific, but I just want to say all of us love, we are all here in this area. We have to remember why we are all in this area, why we are all here making Texans content. And that's because we love the Houston Texans. And we love this team so much that we put out content about them. Everybody is doing a good job. I think I have a zero issue with nobody. So I feel like that's how everybody should be. If you find yourself hating on another man or being mad at another man for just making comment or saying this, I feel like that's what needs to be put to the side. And I think this year I'm going to focus on it to make sure that we all come together as Texans community, because hey, if we all have collective conscience and we all thinking positive about the team, then we'll see positive results by the team on the field. But other than that, though, like I said, man, I just want to thank y'all. Thank everybody from the Texans22 community. And hey, rock with us, man. And we will be back. We will be back.
Bro, 100%.
We'll definitely have y'all to come over there with us, man, during this off season, especially during the draft time. Yeah. Because I know with Patton being a Michigan fan, and we know VT is a Michigan fan, and I don't think neither. And VT, did you go to Michigan?
No, I didn't go to Michigan.
Because I always mess with Patton about that. I'd be like, well, he didn't go either. And I just don't understand y'all love for,
listen, I had a scholarship, okay?
You don't understand. You would think y'all would have
listen, man, look, this is my story, okay, goddamn it. I had a scholarship, a full ride when Lord Carr was there. I want to be like T.O. And because I want to be like T.O., I lost that shit. And here I am on Texas on 3.
Hey, you retarded, man.
Hey, man. Hey, V, bro. I know. So we did the live stream on the draft last year, bro. We got to have y'all on, man, at some point during the draft on one of the days, bro. Like,
hey, we'll do that. Let's do a collaboration on one of those days, because we normally do that. We'll be on all through the whole draft, so that would be dope. Let's
that'll be tight, man. Yeah. We'll like it in, man. And again, man, thank y'all, bro. All right, y'all, man. Thank y'all for everyone listening. Shit, we got more shit coming for y'all. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.